Ooh, damn! That's what I'm talking about.
Needed an intro.
I like it, bro. Surprise, surprise, huh? I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
I
I
like it.
actually stopped music because we didn't have a theme song, so that was the best one I could find that was for you. So there
Yeah,
you
very good. Very cool. Very cool. Welcome back
go.
to
Don't
no,
worry,
welcome.
Kate Sky. We will most definitely be talking about the bullpen. We have issues.
Well, yeah, I missed the game yesterday. I'm not gonna lie, guys. So I'm gonna need
Yeah.
I played a softball in a men's softball league, and of course, yesterday the game ran late, and I caught like one inning, and I caught like the first inning, and then I left. So
Yeah,
uh,
I sat through it, so my ass still hasn't recovered from sitting on that concrete for like 4.5 hours. But
I don't know how you do it on that concrete. That's why I have to get up half the time too. My back, my legs go numb, and the rest is history there. But anyways, yeah. Look, before we even get into Florida Gulf Coast, obviously we didn't even, we really didn't recap the Long Island
right.
series this past weekend. But yeah, a little bit disappointing because we didn't take all three. I think we should have. But that second game that we dropped was, kind of sucked, to be honest with you. But then we put up 6 million runs on Sunday. But I can tell you this, Fish, right? Just based off of what we've seen so far, right? And I would definitely want to get your take on this, right? I got to see some of the game from last night after the fact, right? So I was able to see a little bit after. But
Hmm.
it seems to me like, aside from obviously our bullpen being young, number one, I know we've got some transfer portal guys, some guys that came back from injury, and apparently, there's some issues there. Now, again, obviously that's going to be a major issue, but I think that the consistency of the bats still might be a little bit of an issue at certain points in the game. I mean, look, they still scored 10 runs last night, right? But that second game against LIU, they kind of went quiet a little bit. So, what, just based off of the first 10 games or so that we've played, what's our record? 5-3, actually 8 games.
Yeah, 5-3. Yep.
What's your assessment of the team so far?
So I'm less worried about the bats
Yeah.
because it's been inconsistent, but that's expected early in the year. Obviously, Sear missed some games too, which didn't. Wow, look, Max showed up on time for once. He's as far away from Cuban as possible. Yeah, he runs on Cuban time.
Yeah, right.
So I'm less. I think some of the guys, like for example, Villegas got to a slow start. He's hitting a lot better now. He's come around. So you're kind of starting to see that development. Cuvée has been awesome, and Sears was actually struggling before he had his family troubles. So I think obviously he's an awesome player. He'll get it going, and him batting in the hundreds is not something that's going to continue. So I'm not really that worried about that. Now over the weekend, it struggled through two of the games really because the Friday game was
Bro,
1 inning explosion to kind of win that game. You look at it's 9-3. I think it was 3-2 in the bottom of the eighth, losing, and they put up that 7 spot. And then obviously on Saturday couldn't score enough runs, and then Sunday obviously the explosion. So I think some of the numbers are misleading because the team has had a couple of huge run outputs where they hit a ton of home runs, both the
right.
Sunday games, and so overall on average, it probably looks a little bit better than it is. But like you said yesterday, I mean, 7-4 lead going into the seventh, the bullpen just got to hold that lead and you win that game. So I'm
So,
much more worried about the bullpen because I don't really see the solution there. I think we have
right.
3 really good starters. That's a really solid weekend rotation. After that, I don't really. There's not really much there.
Well, so I guess that's the question for me is, we talk about it all the time as Ben Chestnut. And again, I don't want to knock. I'm not trying to just like sit here and just knock the kid all the time. But the truth is that I don't think, this is my honest opinion. He's not a starting caliber pitcher for the University of Miami. Like, he's got, his stuff is what, he's in the mid to upper 80s. Okay. And he's got a decent little curveball, but the truth is that he leaves the ball up way too much. He doesn't throw hard enough to be getting away with pitches like that. And to be quite honest with you, he's just very inconsistent. He may give you an inning or two out of the bullpen, that are decent, but you can't keep sending a kid like that out there to start these games for you. I don't care if it's the midweek or if it's the weekend. You
Well, the
gotta
midweek,
you gotta you gotta come up with other guys.
yeah, and the midweek matters. Like it's not trivial because one of Jim Morris's last couple of years, we missed the tournament because we fucked up the midweek. I mean, it matters.
Right.
And to your point, like we've seen enough of Chestnut over the last year plus to know what he's got and what he doesn't. And look, he's not. Again, it was 7-4 in the seventh inning. You should have won the game. The previous game, I mean, for all of his, he got knocked around. It was 4 runs. You should be able to score more than 4 runs on UCF, but
Right.
also not pitching well. His ERA is over 9. They're making even the outs. Like if you go watch him pitch, all solid contact, all of it.
Right.
There's he's not missing bats, and it's just a matter of time. It's either long flyouts or home runs. It's just like it's a matter of time before the runs come, and once they key in on him, it's batting practice, and I actually think given our bullpen issues, he does have a role here, which is hey, you need to eat some innings. He can eat some innings in a game that's not very close, whether we're up big or down big. Save the bullpen for and that's an important role over the course of the season. You need guys that can come in there and hey, he might give up a couple of runs, but it's like a 3 or 4 run game, and he'll give you 2 or 3 innings. Like you need those guys, but starting the midweek and kind of putting us behind the 8 ball on every game is not good. As Smash Bros says, I mean, the problem with being in Florida based is like these kids can play, so you get these local midweek games where like if you're in like another state, the regional schools suck. Here like UCF, FGCU, FIU, those kids can play. You cannot just throw Chestnut out there and expect them to like
exactly
to like those guys can play. Like it's not we're not in a state where there's like 1 or 2 big programs and all the other schools stink and the midweek is just free wins. Like you got to go earn these things. Like these are good teams and they're gonna hit them.
That's the biggest thing for me is look, I'm with you, right? Like I can see him for a couple of innings to eat up some innings as a bullpen guy because he brings a little bit of a different element than some of the starters do, right? He's not that hard throwing flame throwing type of guy, so he could be able to mix it up a little bit when you're used to seeing 93, 94 from Zeal, Schlesinger, and from Hernandez. Now you bring in a guy who's 86 to 87 and with a little bit more off-speed stuff more than the usual. I think that there's an opportunity there for him to be able to be successful, to be someone that we can depend on because let's face it, right? He's not a guy that's going to walk a ton of people, but he's going to make you're going to put the bat on the ball. And if you got a solid defense, you should be okay for the most part. It's just, he is going to give up his runs here and there, and he's going to give a couple big flies up every now and then. So you just got to live with that. But I'd rather live with it, Vish, when we have, like you said, a 3 or 4 run lead. And if he gives up a couple runs, he's still got an opportunity to swing the bat. I know Kane's 305 set up here about the no drop off with Cuvée. But everywhere else, there is a massive drop-off that our offense is going to be what's holding us back this year. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that there hasn't been a massive drop-off. I mean, Jason Torres is hitting the cover off the ball. So there's no drop-off there between him and Kafis. Different players. But even Kafis hit over 10 home runs last year. Yeah. Right.
Torres already, I think, has 4 or 5 already.
Yeah, Torres, and he's hitting over 500 if I'm not mistaken, or he was last checked. Obviously, Cuvée is who he is. Dorian Gonzalez is having a much better start to the season this year, and you're mixing it up at shortstop too with Urso.
And I think Jimenez is claiming.
Yeah, I think so too. Role. From what I see.
So actually, I think Villegas started slow. He's hitting really well now.
Right. Right.
So
Carrier, same old Carrier, right? You got same old Carrier there.
Plate discipline, and he's frankly falling out in the process. I think of falling out of the lineup.
And then you've got Costello, who started off a little hotter. Maybe he has
but he's still doing all right. Like, I'm not really. Again, I'm not. I agree with you, Jess. I'm not really necessarily worried about the lineup. Scanlon seems to have taken a step forward, which is big.
Right. That is big.
And
Carlito started last night, right? Carlito started last night.
It looks like we've been platooning righty lefty depending on the matchup.
Okay.
Gotcha. So if they and they had started a lefty yesterday.
However, make no mistake, it was a bad loss last night, right? You can't.
Oh
Like you
no,
said, you
it was
can't
a
give up
bad
that
loss.
lead, man.
Well, also, I mean, one of the things, and it's a good learning experience in that sense, because one of the things that happened is, if you watched how the 12th inning unfolded, they got the run to go up 9-8, and then grounded into what should have been an inning ground out, and Cuvée threw it into the dugout, and they got 3 more runs because of that, and you end up rallying for 2. That ends up biting you. Some of those things, right? Whatever their score is, you can't lose focus. Don't give anything away. We've been very good in the field so far, but a couple of bad errors yesterday. Another one where we threw the ball away, missed the cutoff man, and airmailed the catcher when there was no way there was going to be a play at the plate. So he has been pinch run for and benched over the last few games. So
who's that? Yeah. Who's that?
Carrier.
Oh, does he have 4 home runs already? Really?
Does he have 4 home runs? I don't know that that's accurate, but he's definitely been.
Well.
I'll have to pull that up. I mean, I would believe it because, again, we've had a couple of lopsided games where everyone cooked.
Well, he did hit that grand slam. Yeah.
Yeah, right. No, I would believe it. That it could be, but he has definitely been backburnered.
He is. I mean, bro, you're knee jerking the shit out of everything today, huh? Canes, Cats, Heat. I don't know if he's by far our worst player, man.
Carrier has 2 home runs and 7 RBI.
Is that what he has? Okay.
Yeah, and he is batting 300, but I mean, again, a lot of the stats are.
I think we need to take a step back.
He's the
worst player in the world. He's not terrible. He needs to learn how to hit an off-speed pitch.
Yeah,
right? He can only hit fastballs.
There.
Right, his plate discipline isn't great. He's got a good arm, but there's certain things that he can work on, and that's okay. He's gonna have to learn. Not everybody's gonna be Cuvée. Not everybody's gonna be Blake Sear. I think that.
Okay, those were last year's stats.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, what the hell? He's got 4 and 20 this year. No, he doesn't. Not even Cuvée has 20 ribbies this year yet, or maybe he does now. I don't know, but
no, Cuvée has 15. So Cuvée has 5 homers, 15 RBI. Yeah, Jason Torres has 5 and 14.
Okay.
And Scanlon has 3 homers. He's 3rd.
Wow. Nice. I mean, we've hit a lot of home runs. I get it.
Yeah. Well, because of again, there's a couple of we hit 8 on Sunday.
We hit 8. Yeah, that was wild. That was unbelievable.
But I would say, I would like to see, speaking of Carrier, like he's in and out of the lineup now. Like it's not like JD's just thinking out there. I would like to see Gabby Gutierrez get more of a chance. He's been hitting the ball well this year. I think he's an option there.
Who's the other kid? There was another one that had played with Gabby. Now I can't remember. Oh Jesus. Anyways, I do want to see Gabby more, especially in the outfield. He's kind of proven that he's a solid contributor. He's a solid kid out there. Yeah. I think you got to give him an opportunity to be in there for more than just one game here and one game there. Give him an opportunity to start a series. See what he does.
Yeah, like him, and
he can get some better pitching. Some of the he's older. He's got a different mindset at the plate. Could be.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're not saying we should cut Carrier. He's just he's on he's in and out now because he's struggling a bit.
Yeah, I agree with Eric there. Yeah, I mean, Gabby deserves to play over Jacoby. Yeah, I mean, Jacoby's he's not terrible either, but Gabby's definitely proven that he can play a little bit.
I mean, Jacoby's role so far has primarily been pinch running and defense, which is what, again, he was in the game last night because Carrier got on, he pinch ran for him, and we blew a 3-run lead.
Right.
So all of a sudden you have these defensive substitutions in and all this stuff because you did, you were playing. Jacoby made a bunch of really nice defensive plays last weekend. So again, he's a good defender. I don't agree with that at all. He's an excellent defender. Jacoby is. So yeah, I think I'd like to see Gabby get a shot. I mean, one of the things we're seeing with JD, he is definitely very traditional. We're bunting runners over. He's doing the righty lefty matchup stuff. Like, to end the game, we had bases loaded, 2 outs last night. And Jacoby was up, and he went to Kulikowski. It was kind of, that was because that was obviously for the righty lefty. And so
Who did he have left on the bench though at that point?
as a left, I mean, Gabby hadn't played yet. He could have gone to him. He could have let
Yeah.
Jacoby bat. I mean, Kulikowski made good contact. He flew out.
He did.
So it wasn't.
And
like
I think Kulikowski's got he's going to be a good player soon.
Yeah, no, and this is the time you want to work him in. It's kind of interesting that because we as much as Gino took over from 3, like he changed the way we played. He had a different approach, and looks like JD does as well because we're bunting more, and we're definitely doing righty lefty matchups more. He's not afraid to just pinch hit there, which is why he pinch hitted for Carlito with Scanlon, just to have Scanlon bunt, which I thought was interesting. It was a righty lefty matchup, so he put Scanlon up there, and then he bunted.
You gotta love it. Look, those are things that JD's gonna have to kind of learn. Period. He's gonna have to go through that.
Although Carlito has struggled a bit bunting this year, so maybe that's why he's popped a couple of them up.
So before we get into, we got our special guest coming in about 10 minutes or so. We got David Gil coming on, national champion. David Gil. Some of you may know him. Some of you are too young to know him and know his brother Danny Gil, who was a closer at Miami, right around in the early 2000s as well.
Yep.
And I love both of those guys. They're good. They're good guys, good dudes, friends of the program, as we like to say. But we got David coming on, and I'll talk to. I don't want Danny to get jealous, so I'll get Danny to come on at some point too. So, we got David coming on just a little bit to talk a little bit about his time at Miami, and also maybe kind of looking ahead at the University of Florida series this weekend as we get set to face the Gators. But I will say this. The pitching again, Vish, the bullpen. Look, when you go into a game like you did last night, FGCU again, a good team, right? They're not a bad team. None of these teams are going to be bad that you face in Florida. So you got to be able to throw out some guys that are going to be able to put these guys away. Kind of run me by the player by player, pitcher by pitcher. Analysis per se of what you saw last night on the mound that kind of concerned you, and of course we're down a couple of pitchers now as well, so if you can kind of shed some light to that as well.
Yeah, I mean, you already touched on Chestnut. He did not.
By the way, hold on. By the way, Smash Bros. I got a base hit off of Danny also, but I won't talk about that.
Well, once he got to college, basically no one hit him. So
yeah, exactly. I was in high school.
Hope you enjoyed that. So yeah, no, I mean Chestnut struggled. I thought Kaba did a good job. He kind of struggled with his control a little. We hit a bunch of batters. It was kind of a weird outing, but he was able to kind of pitch around that, so we were okay there. But yeah, I mean, some of the same guys that had been performing, like Slade Naderman, have been pitching well, and then he got hit. Nick Robert, we just left it in too long because I guess we didn't have anyone else to go to, and eventually they got.
So what happened with Hernandez? Is he hurt, Julian Hernandez?
I'm not sure. I know maybe CCH here can put into the. I was looking for an update. There was a press available today, but I wasn't able to make it.
Yeah, I wasn't able to make it.
We have jobs. So 12:15 at the first base dugout ain't happening, my friend. So
sorry, buddy.
so I think JD gave an update. Yeah, okay.
How about Julian?
Yeah.
And Vargas are both hurt. Both Julian Hernandez and Vargas and Drew Dwyer.
Okay.
Awesome sauce. Yeah. All right. And Chris Diaz. Yeah, well, Chris Diaz is a young kid, right? He's a young guy.
Yeah, so but we're gonna and that explains kind of what we were doing in terms. So we brought Caruso in eventually as well.
Caruso, I dropped my hat every time I threw a damn pitch the other day.
Yeah. His hat was fitting okay.
Jesus Christ.
Crowther gave us some innings too. So it's really just all hands on deck at this point.
So it is kind of tough, because you got Crowther, Kaba, Chris Cinta.
Cinta came in for one batter, which we should have left him in longer in hindsight. But again, we were managing to the 9-inning game at that point, and we blew it. So
it's going to be interesting to see how these.
Well, I mean, let's be real. We need Brian Walter back. Walter's back. We should have
that's
relatively soon.
That's going to be huge.
This weekend in particular, we need. yeah, I mean,
We need some.
what else are we gonna do? Someone has to go pitch, man. 12
Yeah.
innings.
What are you gonna do? You know,
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be we need our starters to last.
it's gonna happen too sometimes, right? That's gonna happen. You're gonna get into a position where some of these guys are gonna be able to hit, and Mr. Ian Farrell himself.
Oh man,
I
redemption
kind of
tour,
got
3 hits.
pissed. Did you not get pissed seeing him back at FCC?
It was weird.
I know when you texted me, like I didn't know he was back there, and I had an idea. I knew that he went back last year, but I didn't like. It just pissed me off to see him there, anyways.
Yeah, and then he, of course, 3 hits, and actually, he almost won the game. he knocked one way out on Santa Mara that just hooked wide of the foul pole. Extras, that would have been extra torture, but yeah, no, he was instrumental in their win there. So that was something. But yeah, no, I'm less concerned with the hitting because I think we have options there. We're still working. Like Jimenez appears to be kind of establishing himself above Ursa, which is good. Like that's the kind of separation you need.
Right.
I think we're probably better at catcher this year because we actually have multiple options there.
Yeah, Scanlon's
I think
a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, he stepped up, and that's allowing us to go righty lefty there, which is good. I think really it's Sear will get it going. Like him batting in the hundreds is a problem for us.
Yeah.
Right.
But
When you're talking about getting the bats going, I mean he's batting second.
I mean, he missed the whole series though, right?
No,
Like,
I'm not blaming him or saying, and obviously he's been going through a lot of stuff. So we're obviously
he gets a pass.
Things a lot more important than baseball for him right now.
Right. He gets grace from me. That's for sure.
Well, I guess my point is he's obviously one of the best players in the country. So he's going to end up hitting like 300 plus by the end of the year, and we just got the downside at the beginning. So that'll tick up, and that'll help a lot in terms of run production because you're going to keep Sear in the line. I'm going to keep him in the middle of it. He's batting second in the last game, and once he gets it going, then you have Sear, then Cuvée, then Torres, then Dorian. Good luck pitching to that.
Yeah,
and Edgardo's leading off. He's batting over 300 now. So I mean, it's coming together there. I think on the lineup side, it's just a lack of bullpen really.
Well, now you get Florida coming in, number 4 team in the country. But I think that
Well, yeah, it's hard to get a read on them early. So their first series.
This is a little bit later than we typically play them.
Yeah, we usually get them the second. We usually get them the second week. This time it's the third week. But so they played St. John's the first weekend, except they lost the opener, and then rained out the last 2 games. So only played 1 game that weekend. They played more. They played 2 midweeks in both midweeks, so they have extra games that way. So they basically played the same amount of games as their 6-2, but they've only had 1 actual weekend series, and they did not extend their pitchers out. Like I think one of them threw 5, and others only threw 4. Like they were intentional. So this will be the first time I'm assuming they're gonna extend them out against us. So they're a little bit. There's a little bit of uncertainty there on their end too. They lost to Stetson in the midweek this week. They're not exactly killing everyone.
And so Florida brought back some guys, right? They brought back a couple guys over there that they're number 4 in the country, so they probably brought back a good amount of guys. But
and then they got so obviously Jack Taglio
as well.
Jack Taglio.
They brought that.
It's the all everything, but then also they got Alabama's best player. I'll get the name for his, but he had 25 homers last year, and Colby Shelton. So they just added that to the lineup for a team that was in the championship game last year.
Not bad at all. It's always going to be a tough go against Florida. They've gotten our number recently, right? In recent years. So I think that you just got to play them tough. I don't necessarily expect Miami to win the series or anything like that, but I expect them to play tough. And look, this is a good team. We can hit the ball. We can pitch a little bit as far as our starters are concerned. Like Rafe looked good against LIU, but when he came out, we lost the lead, and that was that. Eric Hernandez is, I told you guys, I've been saying it. The kid is the real deal. So I expect him to be very good this weekend again. This is going to be a big test for him, though. He finally, he gets to face one of the best teams in the country, and now you really get to gauge and see how good he is. But I think he's got the goods, and of course, you know what you're going to get with Gage. You know, the first 2 or 3 innings is going to be really good, and then you got to pray to God that he keeps the ball down.
Yeah, he tends to
Because
lose the
that
zone,
ball's going
start
to
missing
get
up,
hit
and
very
then
far.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
but either way, I would expect all of our stars to have a long leash this weekend, just because it's still whoever's in is still the best option versus whatever we have in the bullpen at this point. So
look, listen, not for nothing, but when Gage is on, right? Like
yeah.
we've seen him pitch and be lights out against really good teams. So I think that you've got an opportunity here with those 3 guys, to do something nice, and I'm not too worried about a 5-3 start for the Canes.
No, I'm not worried about
really
that. But we don't you don't want to get swept at home. ACC
Right.
play starts next week, so you cannot get swept here. You got to at least win one. Hopefully, they can take the series, but
Yeah.
because we not only is ACC play starting.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, no shit. Calm down, bro. 5-3.
Not only is ACC play starting next week, but we're front loaded, so we have some good opponents coming at Carolina, Virginia at the beginning of the season. So
that's tough. Look, if we get out of those the next 2 or 3 weeks, with a really good record, right? Let's say I don't care, whatever. It's 10. What is it? 12 games more or less. 12 to 15 games. If we go 11-4 or 10-5, I'm okay. I'm comfortable with that because I feel like this is a team that's a work in progress. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and college baseball is about winning series. We haven't lost a series yet.
Right.
Going 2 out of 3 is winning a series. And it only moves you 1 game over 500 for doing that. We won a couple of series. If you just win your series, you're hosting regionals and super regionals. And so
we got doom and gloom. We got doom and gloom in the chat today.
That's fine. That's fine. I am not nearly as concerned. We have a lot of good players. We're going to hit, and we're score runs, and we're going to lose some, and we're going to win some and lose some. We're not going to. I don't think these teams. Maybe I'll be eating these words on next week's show. I don't think any of these teams are playing significantly better than us, and they're at home.
I mean, not only that, it's. I don't know how many times I say this, Vish. It's freaking baseball, man.
Yeah.
It's baseball. I don't care if you're ranked all in the top 15. Who gives a crap about that? Like, go out there and play, man. Just play baseball. The ball, as cliche as it sounds, it could bounce our way, it could bounce their way. Our hitting is not JV. Stop it, or I'm kicking you out of the chat. You're driving me absolutely crazy with the JV shit. You're unbelievable. You're unbelievable. My goodness.
I don't understand what that means.
We only got 2 guys, by the way, carrying us. Nobody else is hitting. We scored 22 runs just with Cuvée and Jason Torres, and 12 runs.
First of all, Dorian's hitting well. Again, Edgardo's over 300. Like, I don't know what exactly you expect everyone to hit.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you want. Yeah, I'm not sure what you want. I guess you want everybody to hit over 500 and everybody have 10 home runs. Anyways, onto something a little bit nicer and a little bit more fun because we got Doom and Gloom Johnson here.
Yeah, let's talk national championship instead.
Yeah, let's talk about winning. Let's talk about the good times in Miami Hurricanes baseball history. But let's bring in our guests.
Yeah, first guest on this baseball version.
On deck, man.
How about that? How about that coming out the plate?
Right?
See, the problem with this is it's hard to top national championship, one of the best pitchers in school history. We went right in. We came out
right in, man. We came out firing on all cylinders on this one. So let's go ahead and
let's get him in here.
Get the man in here.
How you guys doing?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
What's up,
man? How you guys doing? You guys are great. I'm hearing this.
Oh, well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming on. I know that you're out with the family, man. So thanks for giving us a couple minutes, man. It's awesome. Obviously I talked to Vish a lot about you and Danny and the whole family. And said, I've known these guys forever, man.
Forever.
I've been to the house. I talked to, and so it's awesome to be able to get you on the show and talk a little bit of baseball. And And just you've been around the program for so long. You go to the games a lot. You support the team, and it's hard not to mention baseball greatness without those teams that you played on, those national championship teams, and all the guys that you played with, Santos and Roque and everybody. I'm specifically talking about the staff, but everybody else that you played with. And of course, it's fun to talk about that, especially when you're going to play against one of your biggest rivals that you have in the sport coming up this weekend. And I know you faced them in the past, and this is an interesting time for Miami. And before we even get into Florida, I kind of wanted to get your assessment of what you've seen so far this season. 5-3 start. Some good things, some bad things, some ugly things. What's your take so far on this team? Because I've seen you out there a couple times. What do you think?
Young is a word I would use. Young, and I think a team trying to find their way. You have a new coaching staff trying to implement their system, the way they want to do things with JD. And I know he's been there for years, but still, when you're a head coach, you always have your ways and your perspectives, and that's what they're trying to do now. But guys, I do think they're heading in the right direction. Seeing yesterday's game was tough, but a midweek game sometimes it's tough. You got to think that these guys come in midweek game and they bring their number ones. And for us, it's a midweek game. We got to get ready for the big series, and sometimes it helps, sometimes it hurts, and sometimes it helps us. But I do see a lot of good things happening. I do see a lot of young players coming in, and or the ones that are playing now with some talent. I'm sure you guys can pick that up. I'm sure they're going to make mistakes. That's what young teams do. But I also see some older guys in Sear and Zio. They're also trying to do their best as well. To guide those guys and get them in the right direction for sure.
Mitch, you got something for David?
Yeah, how hard is it as someone that's kind of pitched at this level to you come out of the gates and maybe you're struggling a little bit. How hard is it to kind of get it back going again?
I got to tell you something. At Miami, you better get it back fast. Because you always have a guy behind you. And I thought that was always one of the, when I played, our scrimmage games in between the week was our toughest competition at times, believe it or not. And it's the same thing here. It's the pressure that you have. It is what it is. Playing in Miami in these top tier programs, you got to get it together fast. Every weekend is big. Every game is big. But I do think, I do think they do. I do think they have the right mentality to do it. Is I guess a better phrase.
David, I got a question for you on. I kind of want to focus in on the pitching staff. Who better to talk about pitching than with you? And you kind of see, you mentioned it earlier, right? A lot of young guys coming in, some transfer portal guys that are still, trying to kind of learn how things are done here at the University of Miami. You don't have JD as a pitching coach anymore, but you bring in a guy like Laz, who obviously his resume speaks for himself. Coming in, and it may be a different mindset, but you still do have JD there, and you've got some of the older guys in Rafe and Gage Zeal, and some of these guys that are able to kind of lead the younger guys along. There are going to be bumps in the road, like we saw last night,
right,
with some of the guys. But how do you kind of see this pitching staff moving forward with some of the guys that are pitching in the midweek? I know, we spoke about Ben. We kind of feel that Ben Chestnut is more of a guy that can eat up some innings in the middle of a game and spell someone in the bullpen. Right. But now you're seeing him throw in the midweek because you're still developing some of these other guys.
Right.
Who are some of the guys that have stood out to you already on this staff? Let's say, aside from the two, the three guys, Rafe, Eric, and Gage, who are some of the other guys that have kind of stood out to you? And what do you think is going to take for them to kind of put it all together and be a really good, because I think they have the potential to be a hell of a pitching staff. I just think they've got some young guys. What do you think?
I think they have to get the fact that they're pitchers. I think people concentrate now on throwing hard and learning how to pitch after. And I think it's at this level, it's amazing how many guys. It doesn't matter what school it is. Like, they played New Jersey Tech or IT. They had guys throwing in the mid-90s out of that school. That was unheard of when we played. There's talent everywhere. But at the end of the day, you still have to learn how to pitch. And it doesn't matter how hard you throw. You have to locate. You have to change speeds, keep the ball down. It doesn't matter if you're throwing 85 or 95. And I think that's the philosophy they're trying to get in these young kids. They have guys that have really good arms and really good stuff. But at the end of the day, if you don't locate, and if you don't keep the ball down and get ahead of the hitters, those like the general rules of baseball, right? I mean, this
Yep.
game's been going around for over 100 years. The strategy's still the same. You still have to get, the leadoff guy out. You still got to get ahead of the hitters. You still got to keep the ball down, hit your spots. If you don't do those things, you're in for trouble. I think once in a while, your talent does get by you. You can't get up with the ball way down the middle or up because you have that kind of talent. But at the end of the day, if you don't do the little things, and this goes also on the hitting side as well, you got to do you got to take your pitches. You can't swing your behind. You got to, it's just the general rules of baseball. And pitching is the same way. You got to get ahead. You got to be aggressive, but get ahead and keep the ball down. And I think these guys have to get that philosophy, because right now it's all about how hard do I throw, what are the guns saying, and it should be, if I'm getting outs and pitches are effective. So it's a big change for them. But they do have the talent, guys.
That's what I say, Vish, right? About Gage. I think that Gage, after the first time around the lineup, he starts to elevate his pitches,
Right.
and 93, 94 elevated is gonna get hit a long way. So
right. And if you guys notice, I mean, a lot of these guys, it's like you say, it's 93, 94 all the time.
Yeah.
You got to change speeds. And even if it's your fastball, it can't be your best fastball every time. And these are things that you have to get into these young kids' heads, that this is pitching. It's not throwing. And with the talent, with the bats, and how strong these guys are now, you really have to do a good job of pitching. It's not just getting out there and throwing as hard as you can. And that's the thing that Laz and JD are implementing. And I think it's, guys, the season is only about 3 weeks old. And you really only learn this when you play games. You know what I mean? Like, scrimmages are good, but when you play in-season games, you start learning. So they do have the work cut out for them, but I do have the talent to definitely get the job done.
Yeah, no, it's a really good point. They're kind of struggling to miss bats right now, probably because they're not, like you said, they're throwing, not pitching, and
Right.
it's an adjustment. I think, especially coming out of high school, they probably could get away, especially these younger kids.
Oh, absolutely.
Throwing it past them, and now all of a sudden
Yeah.
it's a competition. We were talking about this before you came on. Midweek, Miami's midweek opponents you're playing UCF, you're playing FGC, you're playing FAU, you're playing those kids can play. You're not going to get, these are not easy midweek games. These are high level talent.
Yeah, let's be honest. When you see these guys, they're throwing the number 1 and 2 because they want to beat you.
Yeah.
They're probably playing. If they're not playing a conference game in the weekend, they're going to waste all their pitchers on the midweek game against Miami. And it's always been the same thing. We used to play FIU, we used to play Berries in the midweek games, and these guys would generally go ahead and spend their number 1s and number 2s, and it's always been the same. And these guys have to expect that. And you can't go down to their level. You have to be on your best. You can't just be, you can't play at their level. You have to be at Miami's level and what's expected of a University of Miami baseball team. And you can't have any letdowns. And sometimes that does happen during the week.
I would love for them to play Barry again. My alma mater there, Barry.
What are you gonna do? Divine loyalty. Divine loyalty there for you, man. What are you gonna do?
Listen, these guys kind of superseded for a little bit. All right. All right. So let's kind of turn our attention to what we got going on this weekend, right? We obviously face one of the best teams in the country, in the Florida Gators. Blah. Yes, nobody likes them. You had an opportunity to face them in your career. What was it like? Because a rivalry is a rivalry, and I know in football it's a little bit different because you don't play them every year.
Right.
But in baseball, it's been a little more regular because you get to face them, and you get to face them 3 times, right? So you go out there as hard as you can every single game. What has been your experience facing the Florida Gators, and what can you remember most about playing them back in the day?
Tough. I mean, tough is the only word that comes to mind. Whether you're playing over there, it's tough. Their fans get on you. You're playing here. They bring fans out here. And they're always talented. I mean, from my freshman year to my senior year, I got to be honest with you, there weren't many wins. There are a lot of no decisions, but not many wins. They're a tough ball club. And again, it doesn't matter where you're ranked. I've always said that. It doesn't matter if you're playing, when you play FSU and you play Florida, it doesn't matter. The rankings go out the window. Yep. These guys are going to come out, and the same goes for football. If you notice, it doesn't matter what they're ranked. These guys are going to come out, and they're going to give it their all. They grew up playing with each other. They've seen each other in tournaments all through the summer, all through high school. So these guys know each other, and they're going to play hard. Florida's always been talented, well coached, always a talented team. It is a good gauge. We always play them early in the year. So if you get your butts kicked, you have a lot of work to do. But if you're able to get some wins, you're heading in the right direction. So it's always a good gauge as well.
Vince, what do you got for the year?
Yeah, how hard is it to just focus on just playing baseball when you get everyone's amped up? It's a rivalry game, like you said, you know the players of the other team. You really want to beat them. You as like you're coming in to start. Everyone's expecting you to play your A game. How hard is it to just focus? And I know my pitches. I trust my stuff versus like overcooking it.
It is difficult not to get overexcited. It is difficult. You're human. If you're not, you're dead inside, right? But at the same time, I tell some of these guys, this week, use it to your advantage. I mean, you have to feel that stadium, that energy. You take your game, let it take your game to the next level. Let your focus be that much better, and let your every play mean something, and that should help you as a player, get better. I've always said, being nervous is normal, right? You have your jitters, you have your butterflies, but you can't let it hurt you. You can't let it to the fact that it affects you physically. It's always good to be excited, but man, it's almost tough. It's almost, you don't want to focus up because you kind of want to enjoy it and take it in and look at that stadium, look at that crowd with the stands being and the excitement, and see where that takes you.
Definitely. Look, I'm excited. I don't know if you're going to be out there this weekend to be able to catch the game. I know you got a lot of things going on, but I'll tell you what, Vish. If we had 3 David Gills on the bump this weekend, there's no doubt about it, right?
Dude, if we had three David Gills on the bump, I'd be booking flights to Omaha. What are we talking about?
Yeah. No doubt about it, man.
I think we'll get back there again, guys. I'm looking. I'll be out there Saturday. I have my child's. We have soccer and baseball going on, but I'll be out there Saturday to cheer them on. But as fan base, it is Miami. Everybody wants instant satisfaction and gratification. But I do think they're heading in the right direction. I think they have the right guys on the coaching staff. They have a great staff, and they have some good young players that I think are getting it. And I got to tell you, these are the games that help you get it. When you come out and you see guys that don't really understand the rivalry, when you come out and see guys that do understand it and how hard the games are and how hard they're played, it makes you understand, why you're a Hurricane and why they're Gators. You know what I mean? So hopefully the guys, they have a good weekend and they have a good showing, and we can build from it.
I gotta ask you, David, is your son the next great thing at Miami?
No, my son's the next great Gil, but he's much smarter than his dad. And he's much better looking. So my older one had his junior ring ceremony tonight. It was great, and my middle one is 10. He really has an interest in baseball, but again, guys, I know more better than anybody that baseball's tough to make it, and so they're working on their grades and they're having a good time doing it.
That's awesome, man. Love to hear that. David, man, thank you for coming on for us and talking.
No, absolutely, you guys. I was heard you guys before. You guys do a great job, and honestly, it's the best part is that you're honest. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's not easy to see, but you guys got to be honest. But at the same time, you guys are supporters, so we appreciate you.
Absolutely, man.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much for coming on. Yeah.
Dave, we'll talk soon. Say hello to everybody, man. To Danny. And
I will. You guys have a good night.
You too, buddy.
You too. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, and I didn't say he was a Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer, David Gil. Come on now. Give it up for HO, the Hall of Famer, David Gil. Come on.
That's for the next show. I'm gonna go have dinner with JD now and talk some strategy.
Hey, I like it.
All right, do that.
Good night, guys.
All right. When you win this weekend, you're getting the credit for the strategy. So
there you go. Good night.
All right, man.
Take care.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Take care. There you go. That's why he's a Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah,
that's why he's the man. I love watching him throw. I love watching him pitch. I was, when they were winning national championships, I was a junior and senior in high school, and then being able to see those teams win national championships in '99 and in 01 was unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know how Mel talks about, why are you talking trash about the basketball team? Like you'd give up a basketball national championship to get 4 football ones. I think about that way. I think that way in baseball, because I'm like, for you people that weren't even born in 2001 or '99 yet, you don't know what it was like to see these teams win at Omaha. We saw it twice. Well, I mean, in the '80s they won also, but I was too young in the '80s to really care about that, right? '99 and 2001 were some of the most special seasons that I've ever seen in college baseball. It was so fun, and even the heartbreak ones, right? The Robbie Morrison Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. But even those, that's, I mean, you cry for those things, right?
Yeah.
And then you cry again when they win it all because our tears of joy, of course. And when you see Mike New strike out a Florida State player, to win the national title, or who's it that we faced in the other one, Stanford, right? It was Stanford.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Stanford
Blew him
was
out.
FSU and Stan. I mean, you win a national title beating FSU. Like, what are we talking about right now?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if the football team beats FSU in a title game to win it all?
Yeah.
Like, we'll burn down the city, right? Well, that's how I felt when Miami beat FSU in the national title, and even Stanford as well. When they beat Stanford as well, I mean,
that was competitive. That was the wipeout. But
yeah, but it's great. It's great.
I do have to defend my buckets codes a little bit. What we get in the comments that she responds to is we're like, damn it, the basketball team lost. We get, who cares? Sacrifice it for the football team.
Right.
That's the stuff we react to. It's like, kiss my ass.
Yeah. We're not sacrificing.
we're not.
I will not sacrifice Omaha for a national title in football because
don't sacrifice.
You think it's exciting?
Well, also they're independent events. Just like how about
they
all win?
They
how
are.
about they all win? That'd be better.
But let's be honest, Vish. Right? Obviously we know a college football playoff is exciting.
Yeah.
But have you ever been to Omaha? Right? Like that's the thing that I'm saying. I think we just need to ask. Right? I haven't been to Omaha either. I've just seen it on TV. But have you been to Omaha? Have you been part of a College World Series? It's like nothing else. It's like nothing else. So, Miami's got some work to do. They've got the work cut out for them, right? As David mentioned, they're young, but they're guys that they want to win, man. They want to win. They want to continue the legacy of the University of Miami and win baseball games and put on for this city. So I think that we just need to take a step back, man. It's 2 weeks in. Now we face one of the best teams. Give it some time. Let them square it away.
The other thing is the way the last couple of seasons ended kind of colored over. Like, I get, like, football's its own thing, and we've been bad at football for 20 years. To your point, we have not been bad at baseball. We last won a championship in 2001. We've made it to Omaha, 5 or 6 times since then?
I think it's 8 times, no?
Since we last won?
Yeah, I think so. I'd have to fact check.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
We still make, like, it would be like if the football team kept making, like, BCS or New Year's Six bowls. It's like, okay, it's not where you want to be because obviously you want to be winning in Omaha, but it's not nearly as bad as people are making it out to be. And look, 2 years ago, we were the number 5 overall seed. Fortunately, we lost the regional. Last year, we were the number 9 overall seed. We finished the last 2 seasons in the top 10. Yes. Like, and I get it. We want to be 1. We're all on the same page there. But let's not over. I think football just
and CCH said something.
The negativity and the toxicity on football infects the rest of the program.
It does.
And it's unfortunate because the baseball program, look, they haven't won a championship in 20 years.
But CCH
but they've been very good. But they've been very good.
Yeah.
And it's not nearly as bad as all of the shouting would lead it out to be.
Let's put it into perspective, right? Because CCH says here baseball has been the most successful team in your lifetime, in my lifetime too, in everybody's lifetime that's been a Miami Hurricane fan. They have 5 national championships.
4.
Oh, is it 4? I'm sorry. They have 4. Oh, it's 5 in football. Excuse me.
5 in football. Well, it should be 6 in football.
4 and they are. They are. And the reason why I say that is because they've won the most, right? Like football's had its moments in the 80s and in the late 90s and early 2000s where they won. They've been the best team. I mean, they had the best team ever in college football. But I mean, their baseball teams have had some of the best players ever in college baseball as well. We're talking about Pat Burrell. We're talking about the Bobby Hills, the Javi Rodriguez's of the world. Javi Rodriguez stole 66 bases the year they won it all.
When you walk in the stadium, take a right and just look at the wall with all the plaques on it. It is it is quite the list. And I think the difference, football's obviously won more national championships, but baseball has been a lot more, as Kane's Cat said, consistent. And even though they haven't won a championship in a couple of decades, it's been they've been to Omaha a lot. We finished in the top 10 the last 2 years.
Right.
It's not where we want to be, and certainly we don't want to get eliminated in home regionals, but the sky is not falling. around this program, and starting 5-3 is not. It's not the end of the world at all.
No, and I would disagree that the school doesn't care about baseball. Number one, they've got the best uniforms in the whole school. That's number one. They have some of the best uniforms in college baseball, period. But they've got the best uniforms. They've got decent facilities. It's not SEC, but this is a program.
I don't understand that take that the school doesn't care about baseball.
Yeah, I disagree with that 100%. I think
I don't know where that's coming from at all.
You got to think also, like, a lot of people want us to have facilities like South Carolina and, like, you know, even the Gators, whatever you want to say, but there's just no space to put certain things up. There's just no space to do certain things at Mark Light. You know, you do the best you can. I will say that they are struggling with their in-game entertainment. They got to get it together. Pick it up there. All right, Mark Light. But to say that they don't care, you know.
Yeah, no, exactly. We've invested in facilities, so who doesn't care? That's what I don't understand. Again.
Well, that's how it works. By the way, that's how it works. When people give money to programs.
Yeah, but also,
the best facilities.
Like, I don't understand. There's zero evidence that the school doesn't care about baseball. And, you know, as much as, you know, I think people wanted fresh blood at the coaching spot instead. JD, again, this is a program that finished in the top 10 the last 2 years, and there have been. I mean, how do you think athletic departments run? Rich people write checks.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? That's how everything runs. Where's the money coming from?
You want me to?
If you didn't do that,
$500?
Yeah, I mean, I can. It's not going to do shit.
Yeah. What do you want us to do?
Welcome to. How do you think Texas A&M gets their money? It's fucking oil guys writing big checks. Like, what are we talking about? So we don't care.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, the cement sucks. This is one that we can all come together on and agree.
That cement does
suck. That is. I don't understand how that is the seating situation.
I agree. I have to agree with you there, Smash.
Yeah, I don't understand why they aren't. They put some bleachers down.
I complain about it every time I sit on there.
Yeah, well, I complain about that my ass goes numb, and then you know, I've been limping all day because I sat on that thing for so long yesterday. I was like, "Hey, we really going to the 12th? They didn't give it the 12th fucking." It was like 8:30. We were heading into the 7th. I'm like, I'm gonna get out here in like 15 or 20 minutes. 2 hours later.
I'm telling you, the Rules went to them with the idea that is the difference.
That's not a difference. It's a distinction without a difference. The money is there. It's been invested. What else do you want?
Mean, they just invested $10 million in a new weight room facility.
Yeah, I mean,
they invested a lot of money. Have you been, by the way? Because here's the thing, right? Like, people talk without understanding have you guys been inside that batting cage, inside that building, and seen what all those things do and how? I mean, it's state of the art. It's as state of the art as you can get. So
the only thing I really can criticize on is, like, I don't understand how we don't have actual chairs, but
yeah, that's fine. That's a fair.
Other than that, though, like, the facilities are there. Like you said, we've invested money in it.
It's baseball, man. Stop bitching.
That the money came from Ruiz. I don't even understand why that matters.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where it came from.
It's been invested. In fact, every year we go out there, they've done something new to the place.
I think we do need to fix the home bullpen, though. The home bullpen is a little crappy. They gotta get.
It's also why? No, it doesn't matter at all. But
it doesn't matter.
It's a completely different. It
doesn't matter. You know why it doesn't matter? Because Miami still seems to get the top 10 recruiting class in the country every damn year, and half of those guys, I get it. Half of those guys get drafted in the first round, so they got to do a better job of keeping the guys. But they just did. They just got Daniel Cuvée, who got drafted early. They got Eric Hernandez, who got drafted early. I'm not sure what you guys want. Honestly, I'm not sure. This is typical Miami Hurricanes.
These are irrelevant things. Who cares if they ask for the money? If Ruiz comes in and funds the whole thing, why would they ask you for money?
I don't know, man.
Anyway, we've gotten way off topic here. The scoreboard's new, and they've actually replaced it multiple times in the last few years as they keep upgrading it.
Yeah, and $10 million in the room. I mean, little by little, it's going to happen. This is a private institution. This is not. I mean, whatever. I'm done.
I have never actually heard anyone say that I don't even know what. Let's just stop reading the chat because but we still get top recruits. They come in here, they play, they get drafted high. Like I don't like what exactly.
Yeah, I'm not
What
sure
exactly are we looking for here?
Yeah, I think the whole we can't even sell out thing is a moot point at this point for Miami athletics. Period. I really don't want to hear that anymore. I think that's a weak argument, and yeah, we'll see how it is this weekend against Florida if it's sold out or not. You know,
None
it's
of
how
it
it is,
matters.
man. It's how it is, though. But none of it does matter at the end of the day. How about this? How about you stop saying siéntate and start saying sit down again? How about that? Huh? That's right, Gary. They don't even have a spicy nugget. They should.
Yo.
Oh man!
You do not give them any ideas. We know.
Yo, no, do it, Gary. Yes, give them the ideas.
We know who has to step up to the plate and do
someone
this.
sent Twitter Mark like Shake on Twitter at Mark like Shake. Please let them know you want a spicy chicken nugget shake, and Vish will have to have Vish like drink the whole thing.
I cannot do, man. Wait, no, we're not doing the whole thing. Are you out of your mind?
Yeah, you might have to. I don't know.
No. I will do the. Apparently, it's my job to taste test all of these concoctions.
But, man, automation be great.
There's no way I'm drinking the whole thing. That bagel and lox almost took me out.
Oh man, I don't know about that. I'm all for a spicy chicken nugget shake though. I think it might be good.
There's no way you would drink
honey?
that.
How about a hot honey?
There's no way you would drink that.
Think about this. Yeah, I agree, Smash Bro. Listen. I am the governor of that shit. Okay, I hate it. I'm a sit down guy. I'm a traditional Hurricane sit down guy. Not siéntate. It's sit down. Let's go. Let's start it again, Smash Bro. If you're going to a game, hit me up, bro. We'll sit there. We'll say sit down together. I promise you, bro. Or not say anything at all. I'm good with that too. I don't care.
Yeah. You're losing that battle, but
I know I'm getting my ass kicked with that battle. Once Laz left, the atmosphere of the baseball games has died a bit. Laz, who?
Laz.
That's
not what
absolutely.
Died.
No, that's well.
And let's leave it at that.
Touche.
No, I mean, what are we talking about?
Pun intended.
It was not even a pun. It's actually what happened.
Yeah. And by the way, the magic was there way before that.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
So
no, I mean,
yeah.
Well, I mean, you're talking. Look, you brought it up. You know what he's done.
It's not something we want to bring up here.
Yeah,
so
it's something we danced around it because
Siéntate
was originated by him, and that's one of the reasons to not do it.
Yeah. He whatever. Anyways, the Mark like magic has always been there, man, and so look, it's nothing. I look at the same time that I say, we need to stop that siéntate stuff. I don't. At the end of the day, man, the fans are fans, and I love the fans. I love them that they go out there and they support the team and they scream and they shout and they get all rowdy. But that's how it's always been at Mark Light, and I've been around Mark Light for a lot longer than you, CCH. That's for sure, right? Because I'm obviously a lot older than you, and I've seen it throughout my whole entire life there. We're talking about 30 years.
And it still is. I don't know where the idea.
It still is. It was before. It was during, and it still will be. And
I mean, even last year, like that the last series before the regional, that Duke, they'd won the opening game. They were up late in the second game. Look, we were going to drop a big series that was going to cost us a lot of potentially hosting a regional, and rallied for a huge comeback. I was at that game, and that place was jumping, and you could feel it coming because it was down several runs and like. Scored, and you could just feel like the crowd got into it, and you could feel it. Duke could feel it too.
That place gets loud,
and
man.
Absolutely, that thing has a life of its own. Yeah, exactly. Perez ended up hitting the walk off, but that thing, like, there's energy in that arena, in that stadium. That it's one of the best places to watch a game in the country, and other than for your ass.
Yeah.
But,
It might not be great for your ass, but it's great for everything else.
Well, maybe that's the plan. We want people to stand and cheer, so we make it impossible to sit comfortable. No, but that place, like, you can, like, the team's down late, they start rallying, like, there is real energy in there. Obviously, midweek inning 12 against FGCU, there's not that many people left in the stands, but this weekend it'll be there.
It might be $39 for you. Listen, here's what I will say to you. Go and put on an oxygen mask and relax, my guy. Relax, bro. If you don't know this by now, baseball is a crazy sport. And it's all about streaks. It's about slumps. It's about getting hot, not getting hot. And that's what baseball is all about, man. It's not always you're the best team in the world and you're going to win every single game and you're going to win the World Series. It doesn't work that way. We saw it last year, although LSU are badasses. Wake Forest is the best team in the world last year. And they ran into a buzzsaw with Paul Skeens in that group, right? Not to say LSU probably – you can probably make an argument that they were one of the best or they were the best team. But the fact of the matter is that if you get hot, you got your pitching on point, you're hitting – it doesn't matter, man. Anybody can win on any given day. So let's take that into perspective. It's week 2. Relax. Chill out. And if you're going to pay $40 for a ticket, pay $40 for a ticket. I'm sure you pay a lot more in the SEC for tickets. So let's stop. I mean, you got to bitch about can you bitch about everything? Clearly you can, right? Pick and choose your battles, my man. Jesus Christ. Pick and choose your battles. Okay, well, then
buy season tickets.
Yeah, buy season tickets. How about that? Buy season tickets. Maybe we can get some more chairbacks. I don't know what to tell you there.
Yeah, I mean,
we can't sit and complain about everything, man. Like
if you don't want to pay it, don't pay it.
Yeah, if you want to complain about everything, then just don't watch the damn game.
First of all, they're not making us do anything. I think, look, this is designed for, frankly, it's targeted at Florida fans that are not going to go to other games. That's why I sell those mini packs, those 5-packs, hey, get Florida and this other game and this other series because that'll appeal to Canes fans. The single game I'm only going to games this weekend ticket is specifically Florida fans, which is why they jack the price up on it.
Right.
It's basic economics because everyone else would be like, oh, I'd rather I'll go to get a few other games out there and get the season tickets or I'll get the mini plan. But Florida fans are not going to another game after this weekend. I guarantee
you for the next week it'll go back down to $20 or $15, whatever.
Yeah, no, it is. It's like half that for the ACC games.
That's fine.
But just to round this point off about not panicking. So we were a national seed 2 years ago. In one of the early series, we lost a game to Harvard. We lost the series to Florida. We lost the series to Florida State. Who was terrible that year. Lost the series to Virginia Tech, and we're still a national seed. Like, this panicking because we've won 2 out of 3 against Long Island is
I lost to a stud Florida Gulf Coast team. I mean, they had a kid in the 12th inning throwing 94 miles an hour.
No, that was their best pitcher, as was said earlier. As David said earlier, like, hey, they put their best pitcher in the 8th inning and pitched him the rest of the game. And you could tell when he came in, his stuff was better. Like you said, he was throwing the high 90s, he was changing speeds. You could tell this kid's a stud.
Right.
His ERA came in, I think, was like in the 1s. It was like, oh, this is their guy. And they're like, we're going to win this game. And for us, we're like, yeah, you know what? We're just going to leave the same guy in because we're not burning pitchers. We got a weekend series. Yeah. And until, we couldn't get any outs, we had to make an adjustment there. So
patience, man. Patience for
long season.
It's a long season. Absolutely. I agree. So let's see what happens. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. We were on probably longer than I thought we would be.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate David coming on the show. David Gil, Hall of Famer, I'm sorry. Yes, Hall of Fame pitcher for the University of Miami national championship team.
I don't think he was offended we called him national champion.
Yeah,
one of the best pitchers in school history. I think he was okay with that.
He was okay with that, right? Yeah, I think it was all right. He's a good dude, man. The whole family is awesome. The Gil family is amazing. So we do appreciate him coming on the show. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Canes on Deck. Subscribe to the podcast at 5 Reasons Canes. This is the podcast as well, at 5 Reasons Canes. And you can check us out on the 5 Reasons Canes network on YouTube. Subscribe there. Click the like button. And I think that we'll have a lot more to talk about after UF. We'll come on and we'll talk. We'll see if maybe we do it a little earlier in the week.
Yeah.
Depends. We got so much stuff going on that it's kind of crazy.
Too
Even
many
football.
shows.
We've got spring football starting next week. We've got buckets. We've got Formula One, and we got baseball. And baseball has another midweek game against who will probably play FIU next week.
I think it is.
Yeah, I think it is one of those two. But it's
one
at home.
It's one of the FUs.
Yeah, one of the FUs. So
it is. Oh no, it's Stonehill.
Stonehill.
Good
well,
old
there you go.
Stonehill.
Good old Stonehill from Missouri. I have no idea where the hell they're from. But I want to say New York somewhere.
Yeah, we played them in basketball too.
Did we? Stonehill? Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yes.
You're right. F2. I'm not watching F2 in 7 hours. What's the matter with you? Are you nuts? 5 o'clock in the morning? Well, that's probably 6:30, right? I think it's a 6:30 thing. We're not talking about that right
now. Can't be doing that.
Yeah, can't talk about it right now. But we've got a lot of show to cover, a lot of stuff to cover, and we're excited about it. So again, make sure you follow us, and we'll be back on soon to talk. And CCH, go take a Prozac or something, bro. Calm down. All right, you're killing me. But we'll see you guys this weekend. We'll be out at the light. I'll be out. Me and Vish will be out there tomorrow night. I'm gonna try to make the 3. I can't believe they put it at 3 p.m. on Saturday.
TV. It's on Real TV.
That's what it is. Okay, I'll try to make that game. Yeah. If not, I'll be there on Sunday as well. So
I'll be there Friday, Saturday, and at the beginning on Sunday. But I got women's hoops at 2. It's senior day, so
perfect. So we'll be out.
Also was dictated by TV. That's why they put the baseball and basketball at the same time. Which sucks.
Shocker. Basketball sucks, bro. I'll trade it for anything. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
The women's team is going to the tournament, so
yes, they will.
Yes, they will. Near it, but the women's team is.
Yes, they will. Keep it locked. Make sure you come by and say what's up with us.
Yep.
What's up to us this weekend. We'll be out there in orange and green. I don't care what Josh says. I love you, Josh. I'm just kidding. I'll do whatever you say.
I mean, we don't sit in the press box, and that's fine.
Yeah, I try to, but I think it's going to be so packed, they're probably going to have us outside of the box like they did last year. So that's fine. Listen,
no, I just go sit down in the crowd.
You know, we're a different type of media stream, anyways, man. We like to interact with the fans.
I always go sit down in the crowd. I don't sit in the press box.
Yeah, we live tweet. Unlike a lot of others, we live tweet just like Kings Baseball does. So you can follow them at Kings Baseball also. But we live tweet. We like to kind of interact.
They won't follow you back though.
Kings Baseball.
They follow exactly 305 people, so they got 305 on the.
Well, guess what? One of them is the Six Rings Canes show. So Twitter. So shout out to them there.
Canes Baseball follows exactly 305 people.
Nice. Unbelievable. Anyways.
I respect it.
I get it. But follow us, 306.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys later. Have a good night.